For years I thought I was living the dream of being the responsible child. Little did I know, I was actually starring in my own personal nightmare, complete with manipulative parents and a golden child brother who could do no wrong. Oh, the joys of family. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? Picture this. Me, fresh out of college, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to take on the world. But instead of conquering my dreams, I found myself conquering my parents' medical bills. Fun times, right? Wrong. It was like trying to fill a bottomless pit with my hard-earned cash. But wait, there's more. Because apparently, paying for my parents' medical bills wasn't enough of a financial roller coaster. Oh no, I also had the privilege of funding my brother's college education. The same brother who spent more time partying than studying? But hey, who needs a social life when you can work overtime to pay for someone else's keg stands? And let's not forget the family vacations. Oh, the memories. Me, working double shifts to afford a trip I couldn't even go on. Because I was too busy, you guessed it, working to pay for said vacation. It was like being the fairy godmother of fun, except instead of a magic wand, I had a never-ending stream of invoices. All this time, I was the responsible one, the reliable one, the human piggy bank they could always count on. Meanwhile, my brother was living it up, basking in the glow of our parents' adoration. He was the golden child, the chosen one, the apple of their eye. And me, I was the backup plan, the safety net, the just-in-case child. But oh, how the tables were about to turn. Because little did they know, this doormat was about to become a trapdoor, ready to drop them into a pit of their own making. It all came crashing down on a rainy Tuesday. I remember it like it was yesterday. There I was, rummaging through some old family documents, looking for a birth certificate, when I stumbled upon something that made my blood run cold. A trust fund. A big, fat, juicy trust fund with my brother's name on it. At first I thought it was a mistake. Surely if there was a trust fund, it would be for both of us, right? Wrong again, Sarah. As I dug deeper, my heart sank lower and lower. Not only was there a trust fund that could have paid for everything I'd been struggling to cover, but there was also a will. And guess what? Everything, and I mean everything, was going to my brother. Including the money I had contributed over the years. It was like a punch to the gut, followed by a kick to the teeth, topped off with a slap in the face. All those years of sacrifice, all those missed opportunities, all those sleepless nights worrying about bills, it was all for nothing. I wasn't the responsible one. I was the sucker, the patsy, the fool. But you know what they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me for decades, and systematically destroy my financial future, and I'll rain hellfire upon your entire existence. That's when something inside me snapped. It was like a switch had been flipped, turning me from a doormat into a demolition expert, and my target. The carefully constructed facade of my perfect family, first on my hit list, those pesky loans I'd been paying off for years. With a few clicks and a maniacal laugh that would make a supervillain proud, I canceled every single payment. Mid-loan, mid-term, mid-whatever. I didn't care. It was time for my parents to face the music, and that music was the sweet, sweet sound of foreclosure knocking at their door. But why stop there? My dear brother, the golden child, the chosen one, had some skeletons in his closet.
Ow.
And it was time for those bones to dance. I began to unravel the carefully woven web of lies he'd built his life upon. Remember those business trips he was always taking? Turns out they were less about business and more about pleasure. And by pleasure, I mean embezzling company funds and having affairs. Oops! Did I accidentally send an anonymous tip to his employer about those creative accounting practices? And did those steamy text messages somehow find their way to his wife's phone? My bad. But the DE, the cherry on top of this revenge sundae, was yet to come. You see, my parents had a nasty habit of sending manipulative texts. Guilt trips, emotional blackmail, the works. It was like they had a PhD in making me feel like garbage. Well, two can play at that game. With the flair of a social media influencer and the timing of a stand-up comedian, I leaked screenshots of these texts to our entire extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, twice removed. Nobody was spared from seeing the true colors of the people they thought they knew. And then, Like a master conductor, I sat back and watched the symphony of chaos unfold. My parents, they panicked. It was like watching two headless chickens trying to navigate a maze. They started selling everything that wasn't nailed down. The car, the fancy TV, even Dad's prized golf clubs. Suddenly they were the ones begging for help, reaching out to every family member and friend they could think of. But thanks to those leaked texts, their pleas fell on deaf ears. And my brother? Oh, it was a spectacular meltdown. Losing his job and his marriage in one fell swoop was apparently too much for his fragile ego to handle. So what did he do? He took to social media, of course. In a rant that would make even the most unhinged conspiracy theorist blush, he blamed me for everything. It went viral faster than a cat video, turning our family drama into a public spectacle. But here's the kicker, the twist ending that even M. Night Shyamalan would envy. Remember that will I mentioned earlier? The one that left everything to my brother? Well, it turns out everything included a mountain of debt. Years of living beyond their means had caught up with my parents, and they'd cleverly hidden it all in the will. So in a final act of poetic justice, I did what any loving daughter would do. I donated all that inherited debt to my parents' name. It was like Christmas morning, except instead of presents under the tree, there were collection notices in the mailbox. And just like that, the tables had turned. The golden child was tarnished, the manipulators were manipulated, and the backup plan had become the mastermind. It was beautiful, it was terrible, and it was absolutely deliciously satisfying. So there you have it, folks. The story of how I went from family doormat to the architect of their downfall. Was it petty, perhaps? Was it excessive? Maybe. But was it worth it? Absolutely. They say living well is the best revenge, but I disagree. The best revenge is watching those who wronged you scramble to pick up the pieces of the life you shattered. And let me tell you, the view from up here is pretty damn sweet. That's it for this tale of family betrayal and karmic retribution. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been the family scapegoat, or if you've got your own story of sweet revenge. And hey, if this story made you feel better about your own family drama, don't forget to like and subscribe. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll tell you about the time I accidentally set fire to my brother's prized sports car. Until then, remember, blood may be thicker than water, but revenge is sweeter than both. Goodbye, and may your family gatherings be less dramatic than mine.